Hi, my name is Traci Reed, and today I'm going to show you how to save yourself money by creating a cut sheet out of digital embellishments. Did you know that digital embellishments typically run way cheaper than their paper counterparts, and bonus, you can reuse digital embellishments over and over again. So I'm going to show you how to set up a cut sheet to maximize the amount of embellishments you can fit on a single sheet of paper, because if you're like me, you hate wasting any part of the expensive paper. So the first thing you need to start with in your photo program is an 8.5 by 11 canvas, because that is the standard US paper size. If your paper size is different in your country, then you would want to set up your canvas to be that size instead. Now, you'll want to open all of the embellishments that you're going to want to print. Here are the embellishments from Mom's Gonna Snap by myself and JD Day Studio, which is available in the Sweet Shoppe. There are a bunch of cute little word art embellishments and camera icons that I'm going to want to print out in this kit. So you'll want to select all of the icons that you want to print out and open them in your photo program. Here are some journaling cards, and then we have a bunch of cute little word art embellishments that I can use to embellish my Project Life spreads as well. So I'm going to open all of these. So the most important thing is that I want to fit them all on one canvas. So it's okay with me if some of them get resized a little bit smaller. Of course, I'm not going to resize the journaling cards because they're already 3 by 4. So everything else is fair game. Now, most of the stuff can be resized on the canvas, but the most important thing to resize not on the canvas are these little circles, because I have a 1-inch circle punch, so I want them to all be 1 inch, and the easiest way to do that is to resize them to 1 inch before I put them on the canvas. So you can see me resizing it to 1 inch here, and then I'm going to copy and paste it and put it on my larger canvas. And then I'm going to repeat that with all of the little circles so that they are all 1 inch. So now that they are all 1 inch and I have them all on one canvas, I'm going to space them out so that they are evenly spaced across my canvas. And to do that, I just move one as far left as I want to go and one as far right as I want to go, and select all the layers, and then hit this Align Horizontal Centers button at the top of my toolbar. Now these are a little bit too spaced out, so I'm just going to take this far left one and move it in a little bit and repeat the process so that there's less space between them. And then I move them up to the top of the canvas, because the way that the circle punch works is that it has to be on the edge of the paper to punch. So I want that to as close to the edge of the paper as I can get. Now I'm going to start copy and pasting all of these other icons on top of my canvas so that I can start spacing them around my canvas effectively, to not have too much space in between them and to maximize the amount of icons I can fit on one sheet of paper. Okay, so now I'm almost done putting them all on my canvas, and once I have them all on my canvas, now I'm going to start moving them around and spacing them accordingly. Now my printer will print full sheet borderless cards, or I mean full sheet borderless 8.5 by 11, so I can move these as close to the edge as I can get and it will still print. I still like to leave a little bit of space along the edge just in case. Old habits die hard. So you can see I am taking the 3 by 4 cards and moving them around first so that I have them laid out, because those are the ones I can't resize because I want them to be 3 by 4. So I'm creating a base of those to build around. Now this I want to be a little bit smaller. I want it to only be 4 inches high so I can fit it on a 3 by 4 card if I need to. So I'm going to resize that to be almost about 4 inches. I can trim a little bit after I cut it. And now I'm going to start moving these around. I said I don't want the dad's gonna snap, but my husband never really takes pictures, so I don't need that one. But I'm going to start resizing these and moving the cards around so that they fit on the paper. Now this is just a trial and error thing. All of these little icons, they can be a lot smaller. They look smaller on an 8.5 by 11 sheet in your printer, in your computer than they do in a printer. So you want to check the sizes on them and see if they can be smaller for your scrapbooking needs. Digital designers tend to make their elements bigger than you would find on a sticker sheet just because, I don't know, just because we can maybe, so that our customers have the option. So all of these things can be resized pretty effectively to maximize space. So I'm going to move these over a little bit because I'm starting to run out of room. And then I'm going to start rearranging the rest of the icons. So I moved these little, I like to think of them as little tape strips, and I start putting them along the edge of the paper and make them smaller so that they'll fit. But then I'm going to move them again later because I decide I don't like them. See, so I hit Command Z, one of the great digital scrapbooking tricks, and I resize them again so that they fit better. I made them the same width, and now I can resize them smaller so that they fit along the edge of the paper. I might come back and revisit those again, but I'm going to move on to the other icons first. So I have the camera up in the corner, and then say cheese. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. Then I don't notice that it's still covering up the love because I notice that there's cameras behind here. So I move these down so that I can see the cameras. And I'm gonna resize this baby. And I'm gonna resize this the same amount. And then to fit this camera on here, I need to rotate it and move it into that slot up there and make it fit. So now, please excuse I keep losing connection to my mouse here because it's running out of batteries, so it takes me a second to get reconnected. So now I decide I don't like the way that these look. They're too small for me. So I'm going to move everything over so that I can fit them better in that area. And I see that say cheese is covering up the circles, so I fixed that. Now I'm going to reopen those two strips of pattern, and I'm going to put them back on my canvas and resize them again so that they fit better on the canvas. So I paste the first one on, and I'm going to rotate it and move it over. And then I'm going to paste the second one on and resize the first one, move it up a little bit, and resize the second one so that they both fit to the edge of the paper. And now I have a full sheet of icons from a digital scrapbooking kit that I can print out and use in my paper scrapbooking. These icons probably cost about 10 cents each, as opposed to how much they would cost if you got them in Michael's. So I'm going to set up my printing canvas, and mine is probably going to be different than yours, but I want to make sure it's on US letter borderless so that it prints all the way to the edge. And then I'm going to pick my paper, which is going to be Epson Premium Presentation Paper Matte. I want it to print at photo quality, and I want the expansion to be minimum so it doesn't make my icons bigger. And then I reduce it by 2% just so that I have that margin of error, so they won't be too big but maybe a little bit small if they decide to print a little bit bigger. So here is the final sheet, and as you can see, the 1-inch circle punch fits perfectly, and the card is exactly 3 inches wide. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I hope this has been helpful to you. Thank you.